Okay, it's 6:30, and I'm calling to order the Pickens County Council meeting of Monday, August 11th, 2025. This meeting is being held to conform with the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act, as well as council's organizational rules. The public's been notified of the date, time, and place of this meeting, public notice, and the agenda was placed on the county website and the bulletin board in the county administration building at least 24 hours prior to this meeting. First up, we have the invocation. That's Councilor Chris Lawless.
Dear Lord, we come before you tonight thankful for the many blessings you've given us. We ask that you dwell here in this place tonight amongst all of us. Please touch our minds and our hearts. Help us to glorify you in all that we do and say. Ultimately, we want to do your will and take care of the business of this county. Once again, we're very thankful and we're humble and we love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Next up is the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Don Toller, American Legion Post 11, is going to introduce us to a great American here in Pickens County.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, council members, audience. Tonight, American Legion Post 11 is honored to join you in recognizing one of our own. And it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Randall L. Wood. Mr. Wood is a longtime resident of Pickens County. He joined the United States Army on June 4th, 1969. He went to basic right here in South Carolina at Fort Jackson. He did his specialized training at Fort Lee, Virginia. In November 1969, Mr. Wood was deployed to Vietnam with the 101st Airborne Division until November 1970. While in Vietnam, Mr. Wood was awarded several times, earning the Army Bronze Star, the Army Air Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, and the Army Commendation Medal, and was later congratulated by then South Carolina U.S. Senator Strom Thurmond. After Vietnam, Mr. Wood was stationed in Germany until 1972 with the 3rd Armored Division, after which he was honorably discharged. Once Mr. Wood returned home to South Carolina, he was trained and had a career as an electrician that he did for many years. He also served 2 years as a Pickens County EMT. In 2000, Randall Wood was married to his wife, Diane. They're celebrating 25 years come next month. They have 4 children and 7 grandchildren. Mr. Wood has been dedicated to his family, his church, his country, and American Legion. And again, it is my privilege to congratulate Mr. Wood.
Raise the flag, please. Attention. Salute. Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. And as a token of our appreciation, Megan's going to give you something. And somebody there ready with a camera. This way. Okay, thank you very much. The next item up is number 2, the public forum. The newly elected county coroner, Andrew Wilson, is going to be our first speaker tonight. This past year, his office was responsible for investigating and caring for about 1,000 people who passed away in our county last year. Welcome, Mr. Wilson. Thank you for coming.
All right. I would like to start out by thanking God for placing the heavy burden on me and for allowing me to serve as the Pickens County Coroner. This position is my calling and my ministry. I pray that in all things I do, I can bring honor and glory to Him. I would also like to thank this council for the opportunity to come before you, and also thank this council for your diligent work on the annual budget, which has allowed our office to add another full-time investigator. One of the primary concerns that I would like to bring before you tonight is space, or the lack thereof. Currently, our office is located at 147C 8 Holcomb Road in Liberty. Inside of our building, I'm the only employee that has an actual office. There is a common place that has desks for the administrative assistant, deputy coroner, and chief deputy coroner. My biggest concern with having most of our employees in this common space is the lack of privacy. Not between our employees, but between employees and the general public. As of right now, if someone walks into the foyer of our office, they can easily hear all conversations that our employees may be having. Whether it's a conversation about what they're having for dinner that night, a conversation with a family member of a decedent, or conversations with other investigators about a case. This in itself is a huge concern due to the very real possibility of everyone being able to hear sensitive case details. We're also quickly running out of space to store evidence and personal property. We do not have space to host meetings at our office, and currently we have to borrow space from other departments anytime we host a meeting. We don't have enough space to effectively have meetings with families for things such as reviewing autopsy results or going over toxicology results. With the space that our office currently has, it is truly a hard push to even equate it to enough space to properly perform interviews. Currently, we are centrally located in the county, and there is plenty of room on the backside of our office to be able to bring decedents in and out of our morgue, all while being out of the public eye. I'm not here to inform you that we're moving to a new location or to inform you that we're expanding our office. I'm simply here tonight to stress the fact that our county is rapidly growing, and that very bluntly means that there are constantly more people dying within our county. At this current moment, it's difficult to carry out our duties in a timely manner due to not having enough personnel or space. If we do not mitigate this already tremendous problem, our office will not be able to progress out of the 19th century and truly give our citizens the service that they deserve. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman and members of council, we have 3 other speakers this evening. I call Kathleen Campbell.
County Council, thank you for your time. I want to make a formal complaint requesting the immediate removal of Henry Wilson from the Pickens County Library Board. For months, we have witnessed profanity, outbursts, insults, and total disregard for his fellow board members and patrons who come out to express their views during public comment. But what happened at the July 24th Library Board meeting was horrific, bordering on serious mental issues. During the meeting, Henry publicly belittled Danny Parton's occupation as a pastor, used profanity, slandered Janelle Raines and Easley City Councilwoman Denise Davidson, saying that they, quote, get up and lie to the community. In addition, he called those who are defending the innocence of children terrorists. He equated the Proviso 27.1 as forced coercion and called Senator Rex Rice, quote, the shepherd of their group. Henry was totally out of control. In addition to disrespecting city office officials and Senator Rex Rice, he disrespected members of this county council using profanity. When called out for his profanity, he stated that he will talk the way he wants. Combined with Mr. Wilson's history as county councilman, whereby his profanity, getting in the face and laying hands on Councilman Seda, Henry is clearly unstable. Henry Wilson has frequently intimidated speakers during public comment, and Henry is a bully. If you have not done so already, I implore this county council to watch the video from July 24th. No one can dispute the evidence of misconduct and disrespect for the rule of law, which is blatant. Pickens County has a code of conduct stated in their organizational rules. Henry Wilson is clearly in violation of that code of conduct. And you are doing nobody favors by leaving him on the library board. He has missed 2 of 4 meetings this year. He has recused himself from book appeals because he does not read the books. And I think every meeting he has arrived late. Henry's outbursts and viciousness are becoming more intense with every meeting. The real question is, how many curse words will he spew? How many insults will he fling? How many attacks will he make before this county council Those who appointed him to represent Pickens County take action. Does Henry Wilson's behavior reflect the values and morals of Pickens County? I'm calling for immediate removal of Henry Wilson from the Pickens County Library Board, and a better process must be developed than the one that placed Henry on the board in the first place. Thank you very much.
Donnell Raines.
Can we all agree that bad behavior deserves consequences? Violation of council's rules of conduct for board members was on display at the July 24th Library Board meeting. Number one, appearance of impropriety occurred when a few library board members took official action that created a reasonable perception, their ability to carry out their official duties with integrity, impartiality, and competency. It happened frequently. Number two, board members are required to avoid conduct which reflects negatively on a board or county government as a whole. Many citizens were appalled at just how rude, disrespectful, and unprofessional a few board members were. This meeting was the least professionally run meeting I have ever witnessed. Robert's rules were flagrantly ignored. By now, I hope this entire council has watched the over 3-hour toxic meeting. How can anyone not come away from watching that meeting and see how certain library board members are showing their impartiality, their lack of integrity, and lack of competency? Our county's reputation is at stake and public confidence is damaged. Behaviors like bullying, belittling citizens' opinions, accusing a senator of coercion, as well as throwing personal accusations at duly elected councilmen and fellow board members were on full display. One board member even accused citizens who speak during public time of overly complaining and of lying to the community. Saying someone lies at a public meeting without having any proof to back that up is in fact character defamation. This must stop. Being overly argumentative and rude to fellow board members, citizens in attendance, as well as elected officials in attendance, reflects negatively on our county. Making fun of opposing viewpoints is an egregious display of intimidation and, quite frankly, harassment. You must intervene. Consequences must occur. Defiantly being derelict in board duties and refusing to read books that taxpayers have challenged for reconsideration should not be tolerated. You appointed them to do their job. They willingly volunteered to do so. When a board member is derelict in their duty, when they blatantly overstep the boundaries for conduct, you should not turn a blind eye. Don't allow these few board members to reflect badly on our community, or it will escalate. The library proviso helps protect children's minds from being raped. I appalled Senator Rice. It was signed into law by elected leaders and the governor. The library board should honor the rule of law.
Virginia King.
I also attended last month's library board meeting, and it was disgusting. Lori lost control of the meeting and even joined in with the condescending behavior to both the other board members and the public which were in attendance. Danny Parton made a motion to vote to sign the Proviso 27.1, stating that the library is in compliance with the law and to move the 10 books Senator Rex Rice said to move or funds would be withheld. It was seconded and then open to a discussion. Henry Wilson started his rant that he would abstain from voting, proceeded to call out some in attendance by name, called them liars, cursing and yelling. He was very condescending to those in attendance and to the other board members who disagreed with him. He accused Senator Rice of coercing them to sign the form. Henry then tried to coerce the other board members to agree with him. Danny Parton asked Henry to watch his language, which riled Henry that much more. He yelled that he would talk any way he wanted. Lori talked down to Danny and said for him not to get Henry going and to let it drop and postpone the vote. Lori told Elisa she didn't like gay people. Elisa never said that. I wanted to yell out that we don't want sexual exploits of heterosexuals in the children's section of the library either. The motion had been made and seconded, the vote needed to be taken. I witnessed 1 full hour of Henry and Lori talking down to the other board members and the public. Both Lori and Henry should be removed from the board. They are not professional enough to hold these positions. They are both a disgrace to our Pine County. Stephanie has said there are only a few who want these books moved. There may be only a few who show up to the meetings, but the rest assured, most of the county doesn't realize that our library is putting out pornographic material in front of our young people. Lori and Henry are bullies. They remind me of David and Goliath. And all of David's men wanted to get rid of evil Goliath, but only David had the courage to stand up to him. God was on David's side, and he, and with God's help, took down the bully. The gospel writers, Matthew, Mark, Luke, all said, if anyone causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a huge millstone tied around his neck and to be thrown into the sea. George Washington, with 80 officers, fought off 800 French Indians. 80 Boston militia fought and won against 800 British redcoats. God only needs a few to fight for him. We are asking the library board to protect our innocent children from immoral filth. Benjamin Rush, one of our country's founding fathers, said it is better to teach morality or else you'll be spending money on prisons. Please put morally conscious people on the board of our libraries. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of council, this completes the public forum.
Thank you very much. Item number 3 is approval of minutes. I am going to make a motion to approve the minutes of July 7th, July 8th, which is the EMS committee meeting, and July 21st. That's my motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion on those minutes? Those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0. Next item up is number 4, the administrator's report. Mr. Roper, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of council. I appreciate the opportunity to update you on some of the operational developments and issues that we are facing. The first one I'd like to talk about is of all interest to every taxpayer in Pickens County. And that is the state law required quadrennial reassessment that has been taking place, that our assessor's office has now completed their initial work. The letter you see up there is from the Department of Revenue, basically saying that the Department of Revenue at the state level has reviewed our assessment calculations and that the notices are ready to go out. So they have approved and authorized us to move forward with those notices. The important thing for the citizen to know, Mr. Chairman, is that they're going to get these letters in the mail. They're going to look like tax bills. They just do. They look like tax bills, but they are not tax bills. They are instead notice that the county has assessed your property based on the fair market value of other sales that have happened around you. State law caps how much that can go up for your primary residence. So you're going to see a number because the property values in Pickens County have gone up, and that number is going to alarm some folks. But know that on your primary residence, the taxed value that you're taxed on can't go up more than 15%. Not the taxes, the taxed value of your house. So you'll get the notice. We are here. There'll be a number for you to call if you need to have questions answered. There's also on the back of the form, there's a process for appealing that assessment if you disagree with it. If you think it's too high, too low, not supported by what you see going on in your community. So do know that you have the right to appeal. There's a board that's appointed by county council that hears those appeals. So look for those assessment notices in the mail. Please feel free to call county staff with questions about that. That is what we are here for. But I do want to thank Assessor Laurie Yates, who appeared here last month, and her staff for the hard work they've done in getting this ready to go out to the citizens. Another question that's come up this week from several sources is culvert replacements. As you will recall, after Hurricane Helene, we have 7 culverts that had failed. We've since had an 8th that failed. cross-line pipes or culverts. So I wanted to update you on that. As you recall, we completed the replacements of the ones at Jewelmerk, Denmark, Crest, and Long Creek. But you'll see there Rollingwood, which if you see that big excavator, to give you a scale of that one, that's a large one. They've almost completed the backfill. Weather's slowed them down on Rollingwood with the backfill. But that should get rock on it this week, paved when the contractor's able to get out there. We think Rollingwood will be open in 2 weeks. So we're excited to get that one back. The other one is one that's a sinkhole that opened up on Rackley Lane that was underneath the road. And so we've done the hydrology study on that. We should have that report back. The vendor tells us it'll take 3 weeks to fabricate that replacement culvert. And then we'll look to get that replaced here in a couple of weeks after that. Country Creek Drive is one that's really in bad shape, but it opens on both ends. So this is one where no one is trapped and can't get out. And because of that, and because it has good entrance on both ends, we pushed that one to the end of the road, the end of the list, just in terms of prioritizing it. But we've got good data on that one, and we'll be ready to roll when circumstances allow this fall. Rocky Bottom Road, I can tell you that we have finished the hydrology study there. We know what size that culvert needs to be, but we are waiting for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to give us the final permit before we give the go-ahead to the vendor to make that culvert. The last thing we want to do is start it, and then they come back and say they need to change. We anticipate that we'll have that permit in hand in a week to 10 days, and then it'll take about 3 weeks to manufacture that culvert. And I believe those are the 4 that are still remaining, Mr. Chairman. Another thing that you may have gotten calls about. Raise your hand on County Council if you've gotten calls about recycling centers. Yes, thank you. I appreciate your favor. I would ask for the audience to raise their hand if they talked about recycling centers. But I would remind the public that this is an ongoing process. It came about because we had one of our employees, one of our recycling attendants, struck by a car at a recycling center. And so we've looked at it from a safety standpoint for our attendants, for the public, and we're trying to slow everyone down in their vehicles in the centers. But that also means we need to spread things out so that the center can work as efficiently as possible. And I will tell you, in a couple of the centers, the reviews have been very, very good. And then, Mr. Chairman, in a couple of the centers, we're still having to make adjustments. So if people call you all with complaints, if members of the public here tonight or listening online have complaints, that is the feedback we're looking for. We'll have environmental enforcement officers at these recycling centers taking live information from people. But we'd also invite people to send me an email, send Steve Raines with Solid Waste an email, give us a phone call at our phone numbers as well if they have feedback. If there's something that we have designed on paper and implemented in asphalt that's not working, and the public is the customer here, we want to know that feedback. So if you all get those calls, know that this is an important part of the process. We're excited about updating these centers that were very much out of date. But the public input, we appreciate and thank the public for working with us on that as we work to make these last for many years to come now that they have so much more usage. I can tell you one thing before I move on, Mr. Chairman. We're doing video walkthroughs of the centers to talk to the public at each center about the way to pack your truck or car. And the concept there is LIFO is the acronym. Last in is first out. So a lot of times people slow down in the centers because they show up. I've done this. You show up, you just thrown everything in the truck. And then you have to figure out, okay, I need to pull this out of there. We're asking people to think about the way you pack your car, and we're giving you video instructions about the last thing that you put in the car needs to be the first bin you come to. And then next and next and so forth. That'll help the centers run better. So we appreciate the public's cooperation and know that we will continue working with our recycling centers until we maximize their efficiency. You can see that we've already completed North Old Pendleton, Forest Ridge Road, Table Rock, Chastain Road, and Midway opened last week. Up next, Dacusville is closed right now for some improvements, and then the main center in Easley and Willow Springs, which will be by far the most challenging that we still have to solve. And then finally, Mr. Chairman, we remember the Table Rock Complex fire here some months back. I just want to let the council know that we're very proud of the fact, the cooperations that we had with Greenville County, the cooperation we had with the Forestry Commission, with South Carolina Task Force 1, with the South Carolina State Guard, our fire departments, municipal partners, all coming together to fight that fire, the largest fire burning in east of the Mississippi at the time, and did not lose a single structure to the fire. We're very, very pleased by that. No loss of life, no serious injury. We are entering that into an annual competition with the South Carolina Association of Counties, the Barrett-Larimore Regional Cooperation Award, that is designed to incentivize government entities to work together. So we think it's a good example of how government can work together for the good of the people, the good of our environment, and we've submitted that. We feel like it's a strong entry, and we will keep council posted. Other than that, I don't believe I have any further updates, but I would be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. Is there any questions?
I have a question. Why is the Army Corps of Engineers involved in the Rocky Bottom culvert replacement?
It is an interesting question. It is considered, that creek is considered a navigable water of the United States under its legal, but certainly not practical definition.
Yeah.
So because of that, the U.S. Army Corps has to issue a permit before we can do work in that creek.
Okay. I did not know that.
Any other questions?
You're looking at asking them to change that classification?
That's a bigger process, and I agree with you, but the way that they define that is very, very, very broad. In the stormwater business, they call that a blue line stream. It shows up on a map in blue, and if it does, the U.S. Army Corps wants to know about it. So.
Okay, I got a few questions. When is the roof on this building going to be finished?
So today didn't help, obviously, with the rain, but Mr. Chairman, that project is going well. They had anticipated they would have it done by mid-August, which we're at mid-August. So they tell us in 2 or 3 more weeks they'll be finished. It's gone well, although it doesn't look great right now out there. We're very anxious to get our courtyard back.
Okay, well, that's end of August is good. Country Creek Culvert. Generally, these culverts are just massive. This is not just the pipe. They got to be engineered, they have to be poured, and then they got to cure like 5 or 6 weeks, then they got to transport them, and then they got to install them. It takes like a few days just to install them, so it's all that front loading. Now, my question for you, and you probably don't know this, but I'd like an answer in a day or two, is where is the Country Creek culvert in that process? Has it been poured? Is it curing? Is it ready to get transported? Because they've been waiting almost 11 months now. Being at the back of the list, which made sense, get the 2 ways in and out, I get it. But I'd like to give them a more specific answer.
All right, thank you. We will get you that information.
Yeah. My sense is it's probably been poured, or you don't know?
I don't know that it's been poured
Okay.
in my memory, but I know the calculations have been done for that.
Okay. Do any counselors have feedbacks that they want to relate to the administration on the recycle center?
I do. The biggest complaint I've heard, not just the ones in my district, Willow Springs, that could be fake with this, but number of speed bumps, traffic flow. And when I say traffic flow, the complaint is I pulled in at Brown Goods, the traffic flow lanes going by, it backed up at the compactor. I couldn't get out of Brown Goods because the traffic was backed up for the compactor. And I know you've done some changing. That was at the first.
Right.
And people seem to be getting better with it, but I think we still do have some work to do in some areas. Another large complaint, and you have a name for it, the little tubes that you put up.
The delineators.
Okay, delineators.
Wildly unpopular.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important, and I appreciate Counselor Wallace. I really appreciate the feedback and know that we're continuing to accept that and adapt it. As late as Friday afternoon, about 4 o'clock, we removed 3 delineators from Midway because it was clear that while it made sense on paper, when the vehicles actually started getting in there, it was slowing people down beyond what we need. In a lot of the cases, if you look at the delineators, they're designed to keep people on the speed bumps or not driving on the concrete to get further up. So it's trying to manage the flow, but we're going to continue to adapt this over the late summer and fall. to make them work as efficiently as possible. Safety is the number one concern. But number two concern would be the customer experience. Number three is then the efficiency of the truck drivers. So we're balancing those things. Thank you for that feedback.
Well, here's a way I'm looking at it. By doing these improvements and getting them better, trial and error, we don't want to create an environment where people go, I'm not going in there and getting in that mess, and now we've created illegal dumping. So it's a fine line.
It absolutely is. I think you're right on.
Any other comments?
I had a little bit of feedback that it felt like the staff was more removed from helping. People were saying like, it used to be the staff was right there, ready to help me, and now they're further away, which may be on purpose because of the safety issue. But our staff or have any processes changed from the service angle in any of these redos?
Thank you for that question. No, there's been no changes. We haven't coached any changes other than reassuring the public that we're trying to do what we can to make it work as efficiently as possible and to let the public know the changes were not arbitrary.
Yeah.
There was a lot of thought that went into it, and then there was also safety was the driving factor. So if people are noticing that, I suspect it's because of the designated crossing areas, and it's because we're keeping the attendant's normal workstation away from traffic flow.
Yeah.
So I suspect that they're seeing that as a side effect. Each time we open one up, we've learned some things from the previous centers. And so we see at the first one or two that opened that the public is getting more used to it, and it is working better. But that's not to say that we're not going to need to continue to refine. These centers, many of them were designed for a county half the size of our county.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to do things within our budget, within the budget you all already approved for us. Thank you. We're trying to find savings to make these upgrades. When we get to Willow Springs, for example, at the end of this process.
100% down pat and ready to go.
What's that? Yeah, Willow Springs, we may have to come back and talk to you about that because that one is,
Needs a rebuild.
Yeah.
what's that?
Needs a rebuild.
Yes, thank you both. That was in stereo. I agree.
That's on the list.
I agree, but the feedback's important. Look for the environmental enforcement officers at the recycling centers. And I hasten to a close, Mr. Chairman, but look for them there because you'll be able to give them one-on-one feedback as well.
Okay, I understand it. We've had somebody that was hit there, and we've had fender benders and things like that. And we're way into safety issues, but man, I've got a earful, I'll tell you. And I went to both stations. I mean, the Table Rock station, too many signs, too many speed bumps. Just, the volume's so low up there. They're wondering why there's so many speed bumps. That was the feedback I got. The Midway Center looks like an obstacle course, according to someone, and I've actually borrowed that. I think it's pretty apt. The too many signs, too many speed bumps. It seems like there's just one lane, right? Is there just one lane there?
Some of them have dual lanes, but some have one traveling lane, and that's
Okay.
something we got to continue
So
education.
there's a loading lane and a traveling lane?
In some cases, there'll be two loading lanes and one travel lane, but
And
we've
what
got to
happened to
keep
Midway
working.
is it went into one exit only.
Right.
And that just, like I said, I've got your number and your email and stuff's going right there.
Thank you. That's the correct thing to do,
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman.
yeah.
Thank you.
So, okay, anything else?
Yeah, Chastain Road, the employees there, they're still kind of complaining about the speed of drivers going through that. And I was wondering if we've done
Next week.
anything, maybe ask the sheriff if he could have a deputy drive in through even park maybe for a few minutes just to let people know that there is a speed limit in here that we need to watch out, people moving around.
It's a good point, and I will make that request. I will tell you that the complaints you all get from citizens about speed bumps, I hear those. I don't like speed bumps myself, but I will tell you the attendants uniformly really appreciate the speed bumps.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a balance, and we'll find the right balance, folks. I appreciate your patience.
I personally don't have an issue with the speed bump.
Any other items on item 4? Okay, we're going to move to item 5, which
Thank
is
you.
committee. Thank you very much. Which is the committee report. The EMS committee report. Council Holloway, what do you got for us?
EMS subcommittee met on July the 8th. The first item we discussed was procurement process. was determined that we need to do some refreshment on some of the language presently used. We're also recommended that the entire council review the whole process on that. We also discussed Medic 8 on Popeville Road and completed a visual inspection of that property as well, where the renovations are scheduled to take place. Consideration was given to building and maintenance to accomplish the task but the workload that's already on their plate, we decided to go ahead and source that out to an outside source to complete those renovations. We are hoping that these renovations will be completed sometime by the end of September, mid-October. Concerning Medic 1, there were 2 building designs shared with the subcommittee. It is the recommendation of the subcommittee that the smaller structure, which is roughly 2,400 square feet, be considered for review of the entire council. We do have pricing quotes on both structures, but we recommend that we discuss these prices in the executive session. The time remaining on the agreement between the county and the city as far as doing something with Medic 1 is roughly around 11 months, but if we start the construction within that perimeter of time, we can request an extension of time.
Okay, any other comments on that?
That's good.
Okay. So the second crew is up and running at the central station now.
That's correct.
I visited there this weekend. That was my 3rd time I went out there. I think your committee and I think the administration did a very good job. The entire place was painted, damaged ceiling tiles were replaced. The overhead lights were clean. They all work now. It looks like you got new bedroom furniture in there. A new window was added. The storage area you built, I think, looks great. And I think the most impressive thing was you put a new HVA system in there, which is looks like a 3-ton, which would be plenty for that building. What else needs to be done on that station? Is it finished?
We believe that one is complete, Mr. Chairman.
Did they get Wi-Fi?
We consider that a different project. I appreciate that. That's a more countywide facility project.
Do you have a cost on that?
On what we've already done?
It's central, yeah, the central station.
The invoices that have been processed just for materials, we've only spent about $5,000 in additional materials, but keep in mind that the ceiling tiles, the paint, some of the block that was needed, those were things that we keep for regular maintenance. So it's hard to give that a dollar figure. We also can't quantify necessarily the time we spent. So we can do it for a good value to the taxpayer, but as Dr. Holloway mentioned, projects get too big, it really bogs our staff down.
So your out of pocket was about $5,000, but you did a lot of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I guess it's on to the Easley Station. The timeline is mid-October for that. When is the second crew going to be in there?
They're actually already working. We're fully staffed with the second crews in both. They're just in a temporary situation that wouldn't be a good long-term situation.
Okay, so the second crew is up.
They're already up and going.
All right, Medic 1, and we got 12 months for that, so that's on that list. All right, next item up is going to be council correspondence, and that is item number 6. On Monday, August 8th, I'd like to schedule a work session for up to 3 items. We're going to review the trash and the junk and yards ordinance, abandoned vehicles and abandoned pools and overgrown vegetation rules. So it would be helpful that the administration provide us the following before that meeting. The current language that we have on those things. What are surrounding counties doing their language? What does it look like? Greenville, Anderson, Oconee, and a draft proposal of what you want that to look like. The second item on the 18th, we're looking to discuss the process of how the administration is going about nailing down these leases with nonprofits who are using county facilities. This is a goal of the administration, so you're going to present on that and tell us how you'd like us to go about it.
Yes, sir.
There'll be a third item we'll name later. The South Carolina Association of Counties had a yearly conference this past week. It was the reason that this meeting wasn't the first Monday of the month. It was pushed a week back. And councilors Linville, Lang, and Holloway and Bowers attended. So Councilor Linville, you were there. Give us a couple paragraphs on that.
Oh, I'm doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Surprise. Well, it's normal. Anybody.
Okay. The The conference is split into two parts, where the first part is classes taken through the government.
Institute of Government.
Institute of Government, thank you, I lost the word, the IOG. And our new counselors are taking their level 1 courses. I'm on level 2, and most of our staff is either on level 2 or advanced. So we spent a day and a half attending courses that all of us got together and discussed, found very valuable, on running meetings, on ethics, on better communicating with the public. And I even went to one on how to manage a major county building project, like from figuring out how much space you need to getting a bond at the end, just very intense information. The staff put together a fantastic meeting where all of the senior leadership staff who were there, as well as the county councilors who were there, got together for a roundtable and talked about projects the staff was interested in, as well as projects the councilors were interested in, and how we could be working on those better and communicating. That was like a 2-hour session that we all found very useful. And then the conference itself, I actually missed the general session of the conference itself, which is when state legislators come in and talk about what's going on in the state level and the county, how they affect counties, the issues the county's working on better at the state. This is where decisions, we learned about decisions being made on things like the boat tax was a big issue last year that impacts counties. The state's working on it. We need to understand what our state's doing and what our state legislators are doing. But during that time, Councilors Lang Holloway and I went and toured the Charleston County Consolidated Emergency Services Complex, because of the building we're building behind here is going to follow, we're significantly smaller, but a lot of the choices that they made and how they brought together various municipalities, islands, since they're islands have their own fire stations, fire, police, EMS, how they went about bringing all of those groups together, the onboarding process of doing that, how they decided on their building size. And the deputy director there gave us a fantastic tour that included a lot of things to watch out for, things to expect. Director Gibson was with us as well, taking fantastic notes. So that was just, it's one thing to talk about it. It's a lot better to see exactly how they work. And we even went and toured where the 911 calls were, which is just this huge facility. They're handling so much there. So that was very educational. And then at the end of it, we had some social time as well, which is great to get to know each other and our senior leadership and staff and county working together. So it was a really great use of time.
Mr. Lang, what was your thoughts?
I agree with everything that Councilor Linville said. It was really good as a new council member to go through some of the classes that actually teaches you how government is supposed to work. Right, so that was kind of nice. She mentioned the tour. The tour was fantastic. Really did like that. What I wanted to pay attention to was the fact that they're going to, they're in the process of redesigning their floor plan layout. And why reinvent the wheel? Let's see if we can get a copy of that and use that to our advantage here. So.
Okay. Any other council announcements? Okay, item number 7 is motion period for new business. Is there any new business? Okay, item number 8 is an ordinance, or rather a resolution. We're updating leases for communication tower sites on Glassy Mountain and Sassafras Mountain. Mr. Roper, this is new to all of us, so tell us what's going on here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You'll see on the map up there several locations. Previously, Pickens County Emergency Communications operated off a facility, a tower location on Glassy Mountain. It was a frustrating situation because that site belongs to South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. No one could find the written lease that gave us permission to be there. SCDNR for many years was very nice to us about that, but nobody could find the written document. So when we wanted to renew it with them, it was something of a stumbling block. We also had a secondary location on 6 Mile Mountain that had good paperwork but wasn't upgraded. Part of the way that Pickens County spent ARPA funds, and some of you were on the council when this happened, is to upgrade our radio communications. So you see that we went from that primary and that backup to 6 locations around the county. And basically, we have secured written agreements with all of these locations. These last 2 the primary one that's always been the mystery at Glassy Mountain, and a new facility up on Sassafras, the highest point in the state of South Carolina. So they're great tower locations. These are one-year licenses, really is what they are, allowing us to use SCDNR property to have our communications equipment on it. They renew automatically every year for 4 years, and then at the end of 5 years, we would look at if we needed to renegotiate them. So in the past, we haven't had these documents, so we thought it best for council to have a resolution authorizing us to execute these leases and formalize the location of these communication infrastructures.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to make a motion to accept item 8A as presented in the packet. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on that? Any questions?
Yes. Is there a cost to this, or is just a land use agreement?
Yeah, it would be wrong for me to say there's no cost, because there's a significant cost, but it's our equipment. It's no cost to actually, for the license.
To do the, okay,
That's right.
okay, that's what I meant.
Any other questions? Any other discussion on that? Those in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Item 9A is reading of a ordinance fee in lieu and tax package between Pickens County and Project Exodus. By the way, that's Peabody Engineering in the industrial park. So I'm going to make a motion to approve that as presented in the packet. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that? Those in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Next up is 10A. Got two parts here. First is going to be a public hearing on amending Scenic Highway 11 ordinance. I'm going to ask if anybody wants to stand up and speak about that. Now's your chance. Going once, twice, 3 times. Okay, public hearing on that is closed. Now, I'm going to make a motion for third reading on amending the Scenic Highway 11 ordinance. I'm going to make a motion to approve that as presented in the packet. Do I hear a second?
Second.
And that was, who made the second on that? Council Wallace. Okay, any discussion on it? The only thing I want to add is, can the administration have the code officers sweep down Highway 11 and just pull up any illegal signs? You know? And then also take a look at removing unnecessary signs. I mean, one intersection I was up there had like 7 signs on it. And, you know, it's a bit overkill for a scenic highway, in my opinion. So, any other comments or questions on that? Okay, those in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Next item up is 11A. It's a presentation from the Pickens County Library Director, Stephanie Howard, and her assistant, Cassie Hamilton. Thank you for coming.
Assistant Director.
Who was that? Assistant what?
Assistant Director.
Oh, yeah, okay, great. I'm sorry.
Good evening, council members, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight and share the progress our library system has made over the past fiscal year. You all should have an FY25 report to look over. I'd like to start by highlighting some statistics from the report to show how the Pickens County community is using and benefiting from our libraries. In FY25, we saw growth across nearly every core service. In the report, if you look at the by the numbers pages, you will see that the library visits to our physical locations are up by 7.4%, with total visits for FY25 at 469,672, and material circulation is up 11%. We circulated 510,948 items last fiscal year, which averages to around 1,400 items every day if you divide that by 365 days. Meeting room attendance has grown by 18% to 46,163, while program attendance overall is up 23%, 44,174, including a 60% increase in adult program attendance. Outreach attendance has also grown more than 21%. Our digital services have expanded significantly, with e-audiobook checkouts up 25% and e-magazine checkouts jumping 165%, from around 6,000 checkouts to over 16,000 after we launched our new digital magazine collection through Libby. The most dramatic growth was in teen services. Teen program attendance increased by more than 285%, and teen outreach attendance rose by over 300%. This growth reflects age-specific programming and dedicated staff who meet young people where they are. Sometimes that means literally meeting them where they are at our Friday Night Lights outreach at local high school football games, which will begin starting soon, or creating reasons for teens to come to us, like our Library After Dark movie nights, where the library transforms into a welcoming hangout spot just for them. These recent gains are part of a much larger story that has taken place over the past few years. You'll see in the report a recap of some of the things we've accomplished in the last 5 years. We've partnered with local and state agencies to bring services into our buildings, providing community services related to COVID, offering DMV Real ID signups, and serving as voting location for major elections. When disaster struck, whether it was Helene, storm relief, or pandemic-related needs, the library became a trusted gathering place to connect people with help and resources. We've also expanded access with services like our 6-mile satellite library lockers, funded by a competitive South Carolina State Library Impact Grant, our hotspot lending program, wireless printing at all locations, and our extremely popular Adventure Pass program that offers free admission to museums and the Western North Carolina Nature Center. I just received an email last week from the Children's Museum of the Upstate that last fiscal year, 988 patrons had used our passes, which saved them $14,000 on museum admission, and that's just one of our past programs. We've launched unique resources from our seed library to observation beehives at each branch, and invested in technology with a full library system upgrade and the creation of our digital archives lab with a dedicated digital archives librarian and grant-funded state-of-the-art scanning equipment. And we've brought nationally and internationally recognized authors such as Orson Scott Card, Brad Taylor, Jason Reynolds, Ron Rash, Harlan Coben, Craig Johnson, and more to Pickens County, while also celebrating the work of our local authors, artists, and historians. Our programs have reached every age group, from mini maestros music programs for toddlers to book clubs that meet in coffee shops, breweries, and even for a while in an axe throwing venue, showing that the library is as much about connection as it is about books. These numbers and accomplishments tell a story of momentum, innovation, and a community that is actively choosing to use and support its libraries. They're also the direct result of a dedicated staff who work together, share a deep love and respect for the core values of public libraries, and consistently go above and beyond for the people of Pickens County. Their creativity and commitment are what make all of this possible. They turn ideas into reality and ensure that every resident feels welcome and valued. And with that, I'll turn it over to Cassie to talk more about.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you again for having us. We talked a lot about what we've been doing and accomplishing, and gave you a bunch of numbers. I'm just going to share a brief snapshot of what that looks like day to day across our library system. One of the wonderful things about our system is that every branch and department offers something unique based on the community that they serve. And because of this, we often have a lot of patrons who travel across the county to use all 4 of our branches. Our youth services department serves children from birth through high school. Early literacy programs such as preschool storytime, Messy Munchkins, Mother Goose, and Wiggles and Giggles continue to be the cornerstone of these programs. We've seen a great turnout for events like for themed events like Barbie's Birthday Bash, Goosebumps Night, Jedi Training Academy, Dog Man Celebration, and even a Grinchmas party. And as Stephanie mentioned, teen participation has also grown significantly in large part due to our Library After Dark series. Summer reading is truly our busiest season of the year, with weekly special programs like the ever popular Critter Keeper, active observation hives, reading and activity logs, and a much anticipated prize drawing. There is no shortage of excitement during the summer at the library. Last summer, 2,748 participants turned in 3,530 reading logs, and we had over 11,000 program attendees just over June and July. Of these participants, almost 2,000 of them were youth, so under 18, and then 768 were adults. Our adult programs continue to evolve to meet community needs. Craft programs, yoga, and book clubs remain staples. This spring, we launched our Finer Things Club, which was featured on the local news, and we were very thrilled to host #1 New York Times bestselling author Harlan Coben. Our outreach department takes the library out into the community, attending community events and festivals, school functions, Christmas parades, and even hosting stargazing events. At the Central Clemson Library, you'll find extended exam week hours for college students, an annual ballerina story time, book folding craft series, and even cake pants to check out. The Village Library here in Pickens offers homeschool hangout, kitchen explorers, stories and snacks at the park, and even fishing poles to check out. The Sarlin Library in Liberty is home to our seed library and passport acceptance facility with programs like a propagation station, horror book club, and anime club, as well as STEM Debrief, which is a Lego robotics camp. And then we also partner with the Dacusville Community Library to offer whole pickups for patrons in that area. And all locations now offer notary services. Beyond programs, we're proud to support our community, especially in times of need. After Hurricane Helene, we opened our doors just 2 days later to provide a safe space for people to come in, relax, charge devices, and access the internet. We partnered with United Way to do a disaster relief drive, and with FEMA, who served nearly 1,000 people at the library. We continued our partnership with the Elections Office, hosting early voting at the Easley and Central Clemson branches, where nearly 23,000 votes were cast, which was over 60% of early voters in the county. And through our longtime partnership with United Way's Free File program, 1,736 individuals received free tax assistance, which is an invaluable service for low-income seniors and first-time filers. And our library system is just really honored to be a place where the community comes to play, connect, learn, and share.
Thank you. Any questions? I got a question for you. Okay, when I was in New York, my mom was moving to South Carolina, so we're packing her up, right? And she had like these 6 books, and I'm a minimalist. I just wanted to just trump her. So she just says, why don't you bring them to the library? They have like a bring a book, take a book type thing. They have a bunch of shelves there in the lobby. So I put these 6 books up there. Then somebody could just take them. Now, do you have something like that, or does that make sense?
We do, we have an exchange, and usually we're finding people taking them. They can't find any, we'll replenish it. We also have puzzles at Central Clemson and Liberty, so they can do the same thing with puzzles.
Okay, good. Does anybody have any questions or anything? You want to say?
I did want to say, I know the folks at home watching and everybody can't see this, and y'all have copies, but these will be available at all the branches and online to look through.
Okay, this too. Thank you very much. All right, it's getting hot here, so we're going to move quickly. Consent agenda number 12, there's nothing there. So number 13, I'm going to make a motion to go in executive session for 2 personnel matters, 1 legal matter. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Okay, we're going to do, when we're done here, this vote, we're going to break for 10, 15 minutes. If you want to talk to your counselor, it's a great time to do it. Okay, any discussion on that? Further discussion? Okay, those in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you very much.